Hello, ladies. Hello. Hope you've got a nice warm cup of tea as you come to join us. So, we're talking about something today that I don't think gets enough airplay. And I think quite a few of you here are going to recognize yourselves in this conversation. Now, it already tells me, with how many people have asked for the replay, it already tells me that this is something really relevant to a lot of you. So before we start, I want to know, so whether you're watching now live, whether you're watching on the replay, I want to know, actually, this looks like it might have stopped. Let me just check in. It's stopped. No, the time is going again. It just, the timer stopped at 41 seconds. So I thought it had actually cut out, but it started again. All right. So I want to know whether you're here live or whether you're watching the replay. Let me know how many of you ever had your liver enzymes come back slightly elevated or been told you have a fatty liver, but no one explained what that meant. That's why my phone's going crazy because of the timers. So drop me in the hello, in hands up, in the comments if any of that sounds familiar. I want to know how many of you had this feedback from your GP. The liver enzymes are slightly elevated, we better watch that, or you've got fatty liver, but they don't tell you anything about it. Or maybe no one has said anything, but you are dealing with fatigue, stubborn belly fat, brain fog, 3 a.m. waking, and you just feel a bit off, not like yourself. Like there's so many different symptoms. I could just list so many, but I'll try not to digress today. So what most women don't realize is that your liver isn't the problem. It's the messenger. And in midlife, the message gets louder. You might have been told it's, all liver disease is about alcohol, or it's about eating too much, or fatty liver is from eating fat, or it's just weight gain, or worse, you've been told, oh, it's nothing to worry about, it's nothing at all. So you try to be good, you cut things out, you start again on Monday, but nothing really shifts. I want you to imagine, I love a good analogy. Imagine your liver as a sink, okay? A bucket, a trough, whatever. For years, everything drains beautifully. Things go in, they go out, okay? Hormones are balanced, blood sugar is stable, toxins are processed easily, we detoxify and eliminate in sequence equally. Now imagine the tap is running faster and the drain is slowing down. Yeah, Wendy, exactly. It's actually, depending on what sort of alcohol and what you're having with it, it's actually quite often the sugary drinks and the alcohol, not alcohol itself. So yeah, imagine the tap's running faster, the drain is clogging up, it's slowing down. That is midlife. So it's going to start having an impact, isn't it? So just, sorry, I'm just trying to get my notes so I don't digress too much. Just last week, I was speaking with a woman. She was in her late 50s, still working, eating well, not a big drinker. She'd had routine bloods and her liver enzymes were elevated. And so they did an ultrasound and she was told almost in passing by the sonographer, there's a bit of fat, fat liver, a bit of fatty liver there. That's it. No explanation, no context, just watch your diet. If only it was just that simple. Or it's very dismissive, is what I feel. So I see women like this all the time. They could be in their 40s, their 50s, not necessarily overweight, actively trying to live a healthy life. But they start to notice the waist is thicker, the energy is a bit lower, sleep is a bit broken. And then she maybe she gets a shift in her bloods or a scan. It's often an incidental finding, actually. So quite often looking for something else, and then they find the liver enzymes have gone up. It's, as I say, incidental finding because it doesn't always present with symptoms, right? And so she gets and there goes to, or a comment from the doctor, that side comment from the sonographer or the GP, you've got a bit of a fatty liver, and she thinks, how? I don't even drink much. This is what I want you to understand is what's actually happening at this stage in life with us women, right? As estrogen declines, something really important changes. A lot of things change, but estrogen used to regulate fat distribution, used to support insulin sensitivity, used to support your liver from fatty buildup. When that shifts, when your estrogen shifts, fat moves towards the organs, visceral fat. So just remember, we've spoken about insulin resistance and that change. We've spoken about the visceral fat and the fat redistribution. And so, as I say, fat moves towards your organs, the visceral fat. Insulin resistance increases, inflammation rises, and the liver starts to store fat. Right. And postmenopausal women have up to twice a higher risk of fatty liver, even at the same weight, even if you're staying the same weight. So, and the tricky part is it's often silenced. That's why I said it's often an incidental finding, but your body does give clues. You just might not have associated it with your liver. So it could be that constant fatigue. It could be brain fog. It could be carb cravings. It could be poor sleep. It could be weight around the middle. These are not random. They're connected. So the good news is, always love good news. Good news is this is one of the most reversible conditions I see. When you understand what's driving it and support the body properly, things shift quite quickly. I've seen women reverse it completely. One woman I worked with recently, over 5 months, significant reduction. Over 5 months, we found that she had a significant reduction in liver fat, and she lost 13 kilos. And more importantly, she told me that she had her life back. Her words, not mine. And I'll be writing more about another lady on the tomorrow, in the post tomorrow, because I try to keep these little lives not too long. So what happens if you do just ignore it? Yeah, you've got fatty liver. Well, that's it. What happens if you ignore it? It can get worse. Fatty liver can progress. It can be, progress into inflammation, into fibrosis or cirrhosis that can cause long-term damage. And this is where we don't want to wait. So think about it. Your liver is like a sponge or like a filter, right? And it, like your lungs, like your kidneys, they filter things out. And so your liver expands and contracts, right? So when you get fatty liver, it hardens, and so it doesn't have that capacity to, at both things, right, really. So it's like clogging up the filter, but it also doesn't have that expansion reduction capability because it hardens, and so it becomes less efficient. And then that leads to more scar tissue. So some of the things that really frustrate me, when you hear your enzymes are normal, so you're fine. If you've found fatty liver disease via ultrasound as an incidental finding, but your liver enzymes haven't changed on the blood tests, it's still there, right? So it does matter. Or just lose weight. When you're told just lose weight, you've got fatty liver, just lose weight, right? With no explanation of why it's happening. Or if you're just told it's just aging, it's not. Not every woman, as she gets older, gets fatty liver disease. So just to bring this together, your liver isn't failing. It's responding to change. Hormones, metabolism, stress are all involved, and this is something we can work with. So if you're listening to this and thinking, that actually sounds like me, then this is where personalized support matters, because it's not just about knowing that fatty liver is a symptom of something, right? It's about knowing what your body needs next. As I always say, knowing what steps to take, just take them in. So if this does sound like you and you have been told you've got fatty liver disease, or you suspect you've got it, or you've got the symptoms that the fatty liver leads to, such as that fatigue, the brain fog, things like that, feeling sluggish, hormonal imbalance, then if you want to, send me a DM, DM me the word liver, so I know what you're talking about, not because I'm going to send you a protocol, because I want you to understand what's going on, and I want to understand your specific picture first. So that's where we need to start, because not everybody is the same. Helen, if that is you, send me a DM and we'll have a chat to see what we might be able to do to help you. All right, so this isn't about fixing your body, it's not broken. It's about understanding what your body's been trying to tell you and finally responding in the right way. So I hope this has been helpful. This whole week will be all about fatty liver. So watch out for the post tomorrow. I'll be telling you about a lady I worked with and what we did and what her results were. I'll give you some facts and figures in writing on Wednesday. I've got sharing a tonic that I make on Thursday. And then Friday we'll do our real talk with Q&A. So let me know if this resonates, ladies. Thank you for joining in.